Did you know that fishing clubs have been around for over 200 years? Yep, 200 years. That's 200 years of bonding around fishing, of telling amazing fishing stories, of sharing fishing tips, and being around people who get you and can relate to your love of fishing. Just imagine how many cold beers and cigars, whiskey, and exaggerated fishing stories were consumed and shared over those 2 centuries. If only the stuffed billfish on the walls could talk. But did you know that there is currently a big problem with the old school fishing clubs right now? Yep. There is something that is currently disrupting the entire fishing industry and putting many of the old school fishing clubs completely out of business. But before we get into that, can I share the history of fishing clubs in America with you real quick? I think you'll find it very interesting to discover how fishing clubs have transformed and evolved over the last 200 years. Cool. Let's go. About 200 years ago, the very first documented fishing clubs started showing signs of life. In these early years, most clubs consisted of just a handful of hardcore fishermen who all fished in the same area and wanted an excuse to get away from their jobs so they could discuss fishing, share stories, and be around friends who shared a common love for fishing. Sounds pretty awesome, right? The majority of these early fishing clubs were open to men only. However, some clubs did let women join as well. And it was these early pioneer anglers who would set the stage for something really big down the road. Because starting in the early 1900s, fishing clubs began exploding everywhere, from England to Australia to Scotland to here in America. And by the early 1930s, in just America alone, fishing clubs started expanding like crazy to give fishermen an outlet to talk about fishing and to get their mind off of all the bad times during the Great Depression. Before you knew it, you could hit most major cities from Key West all the way up to New York and find a fishing club filled with happy fishermen who loved their tribe. Want to know what the earliest fishing club meetings looked like? Well, some clubs met in the back room of restaurants, some at bars or pubs, some at marinas or boat ramps, and some even had their own clubhouses. What's interesting is how incredibly different all of these fishing clubs were. Some clubs consisted of just a handful of fishermen, while some had hundreds of members. And regarding the investment to join, some of these fishing clubs were pretty open to any and all local anglers for just a small annual membership fee, while others had long waiting lists and were incredibly exclusive and really expensive. Would you like to know why fishing clubs were so popular and in demand in America? Well, fishing clubs exploded in popularity for the same reason we join any group, network, or club. It's because we all crave belonging to something bigger than ourselves. Since the earliest days of cavemen who joined small tribes to help each other survive, we have been hardwired to crave belonging to a group, to a network, to a tribe, to a club. And just like our ancestors, we fishermen all want to join and belong to a community, a tribe, or club of like-minded anglers where we can share tips, share stories, have fun, and be around people who are as passionate about fishing as we are. Being part of a club or a tribe means you stand for something, that you are part of a family, and that you can trust the members in your club to help lift the entire fishing club to become more consistent anglers. It's like being part of a fraternity or a family where everyone has each other's back and where your fellow fishing club members go out of their way to help you out when it comes to fishing. But unfortunately for these old school fishing clubs, it wasn't all tight lines and high fives. You see, back in the old days of fishing clubs, there was a big problem looming. Let me explain. To give you an idea of how these original fishing clubs operated, most of the clubs only met once per month. And besides these monthly meetings, there might also be an annual banquet or some kind of fishing tournament for all of their members. So in a given year, you would interact, have fun, and get value from your club 13 times a year. At first, this worked out well because back in the days, TVs didn't exist yet. So after-work entertainment options were very limited, meaning one of the only ways to get new fishing tips and tactics was to join a fishing club. So even if it meant only getting value from the club a dozen times per year, it was better than nothing. However, as I mentioned, a couple of big problems started rearing their heads. The first problem was that anglers had to pay their full membership dues even if they only made a couple of the meetings for the year. Because let's face it, back then people had jobs, they had families, they had vacations, and they had things come up just like we do. But this meant that many of the members were only getting benefit from 20 to 50% of what they paid for. And if they missed the annual party or the tournament due to work, sickness, or some other unseen issue that came up, they kind of missed out on a big chunk of the club's benefits. Can you begin to see part of the issue here? If you were anything like me, when you invest in something, whether it be investing in a fishing club or investing in a new boat or new kayak, you want to make sure you receive value. You deserve nothing less with your money. So this was strike number one for the old school fishing clubs. But the big problems hadn't reared their ugly heads just yet. Things were about to get really tough for many of these old school fishing clubs. It was a 1-2 punch they never saw coming. Want to know what happened next? The first punch was the introduction of TVs in the house. Once TVs became as common as a front door in people's houses, American homes were now a place to hang out due to all the exciting new channels and new programs to watch. And before you knew it, you could watch fishing shows right from your couch or lounge chair. No more having to wait a full month just to meet up in the back room of a Golden Corral or a smoke-filled pub to talk about fishing. But TV didn't kill the old school fishing clubs by any means. However, many of these old school fishing clubs weren't as appealing as they used to be. Of course, there were certainly some exceptions, such as the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, which continues to thrive as an old school fishing club. However, many of the other traditional fishing clubs started shrinking in size. Want to know what the next blow was? This next blow was even worse. And very few clubs, communities, or brick and mortar businesses saw it coming. Can you guess what it was? Yep. The internet. Just like Netflix knocked out brick and mortar movie supplier Blockbuster, and how Amazon took down the massive Borders bookstores, the internet started eating away at the old school traditional fishing clubs. Why? Because fishermen now had more access to fishing information than ever before, all just one click away. And with the rise of the internet, there were now more options for pretty much everything in life. More options for quick entertainment than our fishing ancestors could have ever dreamed of. This also meant that there was easier access to every fishing topic imaginable. And while this technology explosion was occurring, another important trend started happening in America. Families started fishing together more than ever before. And it was more common than ever to see females out fishing. Lots of females out fishing. And females out guiding boats. And females out fishing many of the men. These all-boys fishing clubs started to lose their luster as wives and kids wanted to spend more time with dad. Yep, the combination of TV, internet, and family fishing time was the perfect storm to disrupt many of the old-school, all-male, meet once or twice a month fishing clubs. And then one final wave came crashing down, and it washed out many of the old-school fishing clubs. YouTube. You probably already know this, but today you can find pretty much any fishing topic with just a few clicks from a device that fits in your hand. And although we still crave belonging to a tribe, the benefits from all this technology trumped many of the once-a-month fishing club meetings. Let's face it, YouTube is pretty awesome. You can search for practically anything and see instant video footage on the topic. In the beginning, almost all of the YouTube video content involving fishing was pretty legit. Why? Because very few fishermen had access to nice cameras and microphones and editing software. So most of the early fishing content on YouTube was done by professionals, and it was pretty good. But then something came along that disrupted it all. Camera phones. And the left hook following behind camera phones was the GoPro. Camera phones and GoPros gave every weekend warrior, first-timer, and even complete fishing googans unlimited access to have their own YouTube channel where they could post their fishing exploits. All of a sudden, YouTube was literally flooded with fishing videos from anglers of all levels, and today there are countless videos on every species of fish imaginable. The problem is that all this easy access to so much information brought in a whole new set of issues. You see, YouTube and the internet in general was flooded with trash and spam and conflicting information. In fact, one study revealed that upwards of 50% of the information out on the internet today is either incorrect, misleading, or outright fake news. 50%. That means even if you did have time to go through it all, half of it would be flat out wrong. Here is what really happens when you do a YouTube search about any fishing topic. You are pretty much guaranteed to find at least one of the following three things. Clickbait headlines that have little or even nothing to do with the topic you are looking for, completely wrong or misleading information, or number three, information overwhelm. As nice as it appears to be that you have access to so much information at your fingertips, it really is a major problem. Why? Because any angler in the 21st century who attempts to become a better fisherman by listening to 1,000 different dispensers of advice ends up lost and confused. And in most cases, worse off than before. Here's what I've discovered. No angler has ever become consistent from just watching free YouTube videos. Anglers who get their fishing tips solely from all the free stuff on YouTube end up with a patchwork of slightly incompatible ideas and advice all thrown together in a stir-fry. It never works. Want proof? Let's take a look on YouTube real quick. Let's do a search for something pretty specific like how to catch redfish. That's a pretty specific search. Don't you agree? Yet, as of today, there are over 240,000 different videos for how to catch redfish. 240,000. Let's do some quick math. If the average video is 5 minutes long, and we want to find out how many total minutes of watch time it is, then we take 240,000 total videos times 5 minutes each equals 1.2 million total minutes. 1.2 million total minutes. And if you take 1.2 million minutes and divide it by 60 minutes to find out total amount of hours, it comes out to 20,000 hours. 20,000 hours. Divided by 24 hours in a day comes to 833 days. That's 2.2 years of your life wasted. All just to watch every video on how to catch a redfish. Talk about information overload. You don't even want to know how much time it would take for you to watch all the videos for a broad search like saltwater fishing. Let's just say it would take many years of non-stop watching just to finish them all. And the worst part is that you'd come out a more confused fisherman due to all the conflicting and wrong information. Want to know the good news about all this information overwhelm? This age of information overwhelm has actually opened up the door for some fishing clubs to explode in popularity again. Yep. This age of information we are living in today created a demand for a new type of fishing club in particular. Online fishing clubs. Why? Because technology has opened up the door for anglers to get more value from online fishing clubs than most old school clubs could ever offer. All at the command of your fingertips. 365 days per year. And because of the vast amount of information out there, 50% of it wrong, fishermen like you who value their time would gladly invest a small amount to have someone cut through the fluff and deliver only the fishing tips that are truly proven to work. Wouldn't you rather have a proven teacher cutting through all the clutter and showing you only the tips and tricks, shortcuts, and tackle that truly work in your area? Wouldn't you rather save hours, days, or even years of time to have someone deliver only the fishing information you really need to know so you can ignore the rest? I know I sure would. Not to mention, with online fishing clubs, anglers like you can get value from the club 24 hours a day, 365 days per year. Imagine being able to get any fishing question answered in just a matter of hours instead of waiting 30 days for the next meeting. Imagine being able to watch a step-by-step how-to fishing tip on any shortcut you were looking for right from your phone or tablet or computer. Anytime, anywhere. A fishing club open 24 hours a day, every single day of the year. That's just some of the power of these online fishing clubs. With full access to an online family of fellow anglers, new fishing content and tips going up pretty much daily, and the ability for you to get any fishing question answered in a matter of minutes, all from a phone, tablet, or computer, it's not hard to understand why online fishing clubs are exploding and have quickly taken over many of the traditional old school fishing clubs. In fact, today, most of the fastest growing and most popular fishing clubs are based online. And most of them still do meetups in local areas so you can go out fishing with other members. There is even one online fishing club that guarantees you will catch more fish and have more fun out in the water while you're a member or you don't pay. More on that in a second. But first, can we talk about the one thing that hasn't changed? You see, even with the rise of the internet and YouTube and information overload and all of the amazing technology coming out every year, there is one thing that will simply never change. Something that is hardwired into us just like a computer. Do you know what it is? It's the need to belong to a tribe, a club, a family, and a community of like-minded people. It's the burning desire to be part of something bigger than ourselves. It's why fraternal organizations have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Heck, it's the same reason why fishing clubs have been around for hundreds of years. Let's face it, we all want to belong to something and associate ourselves with something bigger than ourselves. We all want to be part of a club. We all want to belong to a family. And as fishermen, you deserve to be part of a community who gets you, that understands your need for wanting endless fishing rods. Listen, you deserve to have the best fishing tips at your fingertips. You deserve to maximize your time on the water. But here's the truth when it comes to online fishing clubs. You can join any number of free online fishing clubs. Heck, I can point you in the direction of quite a few free ones right now. But I can also tell you what you'll most likely find there. You'll find the same stuff you see in most of the free fishing forums, free Facebook fishing groups, and YouTube comments. You'll find negativity, bashing, trash talking, bad information, keyboard fishing police, and inappropriate comments and pics. I don't know about you, but I've had enough with the online fishing police and the haters saying your fish was short, out of season, or that you had some other made-up fishing infraction. Life's too short to be around negative anglers. And sadly, that is predominantly what you will find in most of the free online fishing clubs. In a sentence, you get what you pay for. Let's face it, if you were anything like me, you'd gladly pay just a small investment to ensure that the riffraff, The hecklers, fishing police, and negative Nancys never join your tribe. Do you recall that earlier I mentioned an online fishing club that actually guarantees you'll catch more fish or it's free? Can I tell you about it real quick? The club is called the Salt Strong Insider Fishing Club, and it really does have the biggest and boldest guarantee for any fishing club out there. The guarantee is that you will catch more fish over the next 365 days, or it's 100% free. Yep. You get value and have more fun out in the water, or you never pay. Period. No questions asked and no haggling. But that's not the only reason this fishing club is growing so fast and transforming so many fishermen. You see, it's also one of the only fishing clubs that reveal all of their inshore fishing spots. But not for the reason you think. You see, fishing spots are great and all, but let's face it, spots are stagnant. Spots don't move. Because last time I checked, fish are not stagnant. They move around constantly. Which is why most of the fishing spot maps out there aren't very reliable year-round. On the other hand, once you know the trends behind the spots, then you are armed with the same knowledge the pros use to consistently find feeding fish year-round. And that's exactly what the focus is of the weekly Insider Fishing Reports that all members receive. Trends. In particular, helping you identify trends in your area to find feeding fish year-round. This enables you to replicate new spots to catch fish year-round, regardless if you fish in Texas, Louisiana, Florida, North Carolina, or anywhere in between. But that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the benefits you'll receive as a member of this Insider Fishing Club. A few other reasons that everyone from newbies to hardcore weekend warriors to seasoned full-time fishing guides join the Insider Fishing Club is for the exclusive fishing tips, the unbiased product reviews on all kinds of fishing equipment, and even discounts on popular fishing tackle and gear. And all of it's available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless if you're on your phone, tablet, laptop, or desktop. So you receive value 365 days per year. The Salt Strong Insider Fishing Club is where anglers come to get better. It's where anglers come to be around other fishermen that get them. It's where anglers like you come to get more consistent so you can outfish your friends and impress everyone with your fish picks. Here's what we found out about the Salt Strong Insider Fishing Club members over the past year. 1, they catch more fish. 2, they are more consistent than their fishing buddies. And 3, they have more fun out on the water. I bet by now you are wondering what the cost is. Would you want to join if it was just 27 cents per day? Yes? Well, that's the actual cost of this small investment. 27 pennies per day comes to just $97 for the entire year. That's less than most anglers spend on coffee every day. And that 27 cents per day includes unlimited access to the fishing reports, the spots, the trends, the exclusive tips, the unbiased product reviews, the discounts, and the interactive community. And there are even some amazing free bonuses if you join today, like a free custom Insider Cleat Cup, a Salt Strong flag, waterproof decals, and more. So if you are ready to end your frustrated days out on the water, if you're ready to start saving money so that you can spend it on more fishing trips, travel, new kayaks, boats, etc., if you're ready to start saving lots of wasted time on the water, and if you are ready to start out fishing and impressing your friends with your newfound fish catching skills, then we'd love to have you as a member of this exclusive online fishing club. Click the link on this page or simply go to saltstrong.com/insider to apply to join the Insider Fishing Club now. Listen, Today, more than any other time in history, fishermen are craving to be part of a tight-knit tribe where they can share tips, share stories, share fish pics and videos, and be around anglers who get you. Even if our online fishing club isn't a fit for you, or if you don't qualify, I highly encourage you to join one. But we really hope to see you as a Salt Strong Insider. Click the link to join the Insider Fishing Club now. Hope you enjoyed hearing all about the evolution of fishing clubs in America. Fish on! For more saltwater fishing tips, courses, reviews, and more, check out saltstrong.com, the leader in saltwater fishing education.